What's up, y'all? Hope y'all are having a good weekend. Um, I know there's a lot that's been going on in the news and in the world in the past couple weeks. I was just sitting at home just now and thinking a lot about what's been going on. Um, Thinking a lot about other people's reactions to what's been going on. Um, and feeling a little disappointed in some people, I guess. Um, and you know these types of things, like, I'm obviously talking about what's going on in Gaza and in Israel. They're not easy things to talk about because there's so much context and so much backstory that um, one needs to understand to get any sort of reliable grip on what is actually happening there. Um, I follow a lot of people that have a lot to do with what's going on there, and this just in the sense that they're there, they live there, and they're involved with the people there. So I thought, so here's the thing, like, I don't, and maybe like a lot of you, I don't have regular, like, cable TV, and haven't since ever. I don't think I've ever paid for cable TV. Um, like when I moved out of my parents' house a long time ago, that was, you know, I couldn't afford a TV. I didn't own a TV for one. I didn't own any furniture. I lived for a long time out of a handful of boxes and stuff, right? So, anyways, right. So I don't have TV. I don't watch the news, but I do pay attention to what's going on. People that live there and on the ground, and were reporting many things that weren't being, what I found out later, weren't being reported in American news. Or if they were distorted or just completely false. And anyways, I've been seeing a lot of people post different things about what's going on, and I can't help but think that it's coming from a place of, like, of good intentions, right? Like, I don't think that everyone is just a giant piece of shit, but but some people like to act that way, or at least talk that way. I don't know. Again, I have to remember that not everyone is as connected as, and I'm not like super connected, but at least I know that there are other means in which to find out news about things that are happening over there, and I pay attention to those things. So I have to remember that not everyone is informed in that way. So again, I just feel really disappointed and not borderline, disgusted with a lot of people. Um, and I'm not saying that it's like all these people that I know. There's many people that I don't know that feel that way, but I don't know. I just feel it creeping into the things that I see or read or hear from people that I do know. And it's troubling. Like, there's this thing in the world. It's not new. And it's a thing that's been pervasive in many cultures in the world over thousands of years. There's this obsession with death. It's almost like a death cult. People that like to see people die, or and remember that I'm just ranting here. I don't have anything like written out that I was gonna say. This is all just off the top of my head. So, but yeah, I feel like outside of like what I remember growing up as like the counterculture type of like, anything that was weird or scary, like that was cool because it was like the thing that people, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, when you're growing up, there's like this desire for rebellion and for being provocative and maybe even scary to some people. And there's some of that in this type of movement, I think, at least in young people. And it's unfortunate because they're uninformed or ill-informed or misinformed to some degree. And, when you're that age, when you're young, in your teenage years, in your 20s and stuff, like, you're very impressionable. I mean, I remember being very impressionable and, critical thinking not being a thing that's really taught anymore. It's become easier for people to get like wrapped up in this whole mob mentality, and people praising the horrific, murder and all the other terrible things that happened. People that praise that type of thing are not good people. I'm sorry that you think that you have some sort of grasp on the solutions to the problems and who's really the villain here. And again, like I said in the beginning, there's so much context that gets left out. There's so much history that that people don't know, they don't want to know, or if they do know, it's twisted history, So I tend to like try and stay out of stuff. But this is like this is disgusting, dude. This is really bad. You can't support stuff like that. I mean, anyways, I've been noticing that a lot. I've been seeing that a lot, and I've always been aware of this sentiment that of rebellion within people, just humans in general. I know I have an issue, like an authority issue, right? I don't like being told what to do. I don't think many people like being told what to do. So I can understand, the way that, and I think a lot of it comes down to perception. And I have a lot of this, blame can be put on our media and our, the media organizations, the social media, political groups in the United States, placed in certain positions of authority or power, directing people's thoughts and emotions and perceptions of what's going on in the world. Man, we live in a scary place. We live in a scary place where death and dismemberment and rape and kidnapping is applauded in universities and in social media too. And look, I don't know. I don't want to make this like a huge long rant, but this whole battle of rebellion against, submitting to some authority. And I think that's maybe like the root of it all. Because like I said earlier, I have a problem with authority, I don't agree with people that go around and say, oh, well, I have this degree, or this person has this degree, or they have this, and they're in this position of authority, so you have to listen to them because, they have the piece of paper and they spent all this money going to school. It's like, okay, I mean, but an appeal to authority is a logical fallacy, and I kind of live my life that way, that like, I go to work, right? When I go to work and my boss tells me, hey, I need you to do this, I go do it. right? Because it's my job. When I say I have a problem with being told what to do, that's within my own life. I can't say this about everybody else, but I'm aware that when I'm at a job, I have a job to do. I have someone above me that's directing the things that I need to do, so I go do them because they need to be done, right? It's my job. But in my personal life, I question just about everything. And if I seriously don't feel right about something that someone told me or something that, I'm supposed to be doing, I go and look into it myself and make sure that that's the truth or that that's, if that's falsified or whatever, So when it came to, getting into, I guess, more personal things, when it came to the things that I believe in, within my upbringing being Southern Baptist Christian, I always questioned things, and I was never given what I felt were satisfactory answers. So it took a while for me to grow into to feel comfortable questioning all that stuff, because what you grow up in a church, that's like your base upbringing, your foundation, like your worldview comes out of that. So it was a struggle to understand that worldview that I had been brought up in and realize that maybe some of that was wrong and I needed to go find out what was right. So not everybody is able to do that. Not everybody is able to see what they were brought up in and let that die, with finding new and more truthful information. I heard a quote yesterday. What was it? Change is not always growth, but growth is always rooted in change. Yeah. So I understand that not everybody is capable of letting those things that they grew up in go, in favor of things that are more aligned with the truth and aligned with facts and logic and reason and the reasoning of your waking senses, like the world that we live in, right? Not just believing what you were told because someone told you that. So trying to bring it back to what I was saying earlier, it's just a scary world, man. It's a scary world we live in, and I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know how we're going to get out of it. A lot of me, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking that, like, if this really is the end, there's nothing we can do to stop it. It's gonna continue going down this downhill stretch until it starts to go uphill. But I don't know that we're in those times now. I don't know that we're in the proverbial end times, right? Seems pretty interesting, the things that are going on around us, though. So yeah, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to sit here and talk. Because I had a lot on my mind. And this has been bothering me for a while. The public and the social presence of this feeling, the sentiment, this rebellion and ridicule of God and of people who believe in God, and this praising and support of mass murder and death, this death cult that exists. It's a thing, There are some people who would rather watch the world burn than help it, and there's some people who want to take So we just, I don't know. You gotta be careful with what you support. You gotta be careful with what you believe. I feel like if you know, you're entitled to believe whatever it is that you want to believe, but you do a disservice to yourself if you don't base that belief on solid information and solid facts and knowledge and stuff. So I would just ask that, you know, those people that want to hate Israel and want to support this death cult, it's like, dude, go look it up, man. Go do your own research. Don't listen to the news. Go look at as many journal articles as you can find, preferably ones that don't originate in the United States. You know, yeah. So again, I don't know if this is going to be posted, but I just thought I would sit here and talk for a bit, let some stuff out. On a lighter note, I am continuing with the never-ending story, with doing those chapters. I am seeing, though, a lot recently, I am seeing that some other channels that do similar things to what I'm doing on my YouTube channel are getting letters from authors and from publishing houses saying, you know, giving them cease and desist orders and telling them they have to delete their content and stop what they're doing. And I get it, you know, I get it, except that some of these channels that are being shut down or threatened to be shut down aren't making money on, like, they're not monetizing their videos. My videos aren't monetized, but they're still getting shut down. Not my videos, but these other people's videos their channels are being shut down because it's a breach of copyright, they say, that you can't read a book. And I'm not even sure. I kind of think, you know, I'd have to do more research, but I kind of think that this rule that they're not implementing, but acting on, that it's already there, this law, this copyright law, forbids you from any sort of public performance of an author's material. So, like, public book readings, I guess, would be illegal then, because, you know, even if you didn't pay for, you know, you just sat in a park, I guess you couldn't publicly read the book in a park then, like, for people. Because, you know, they're saying that, and this happened to, what was his name? His channel was like Red Fox, or it is, his channel's still there, but he's had to take some of his videos down. Red Fox something. And he did this amazing version of The Lord of the Rings by himself. I think his main mistake that got him too much attention was he used the original score from Howard Shore's score from The Lord of the Rings. So that dinged him with copyright immediately because the algorithm could just detect that was copyrighted material. But he did all the voices himself. He did all the Foley sound himself. And it was amazing. It is amazing. It's still available in other places. It was on Spotify for a while, but that got taken down. It is still in a copy. There are copies of it floating around on YouTube on various channels, but it's not on his channel anymore. Anyways, so his channel, he's got thousands of subscribers. He's got millions of, you know, probably millions of views collectively. My channel's not that big, but it makes me kind of worry about if and when it does start to get a little bit bigger, if someone's going to hit me with a cease and desist letter to stop doing the never-ending story. I have seen some very minimal promotion, like advertisement stuff for Disney rebooting the Neverending Story. And I saw that at least a year ago. I don't know what the plan is for that, but I would imagine that if my channel gets any bigger and I get more views on these Neverending Story videos, that the same thing would probably happen to me. Disney's a huge conglomerate, so they're gonna want to squash any sort of like, not that my channel would be competition, but they don't want any of that. If people are interested in the Neverending Story and they have a new movie out, they want people to go see the movie and not look at other things. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm still going to create the videos, and if something happens on YouTube, maybe I'll put them somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. But the book, let me check. I forget how many chapters it does have, but it's got a lot of chapters, and I just finished chapter 12, and the book has 26 chapters. So we still got a bunch of chapters to go, about 14 chapters to go. And not that I'm complaining about the process or the project, but it seems like it goes on forever. Like, I put a lot of work into each episode or each chapter, right? And it's only the chapter's only a couple pages. It takes, if I did everything in one day, it would probably take 8 to 10 hours to do. I spread it out over several days, or this last chapter over 4 weeks. I guess I needed a break or something, but it takes a while to do. It takes a while to put everything together and get it to sound right. And another part of that is feeling motivated to do it. And maybe I would feel a little bit more motivated if the channel was bigger and it had a larger audience. A lot of these videos that I'm posting, haven't cracked 100 views. So, the motivation really has to come from within myself, I guess. Because there's not a lot of like outward motivation going on. Some of my friends tell me that they enjoy it and appreciate it and stuff, but yeah, it's just one of those things. We'll see what happens as we go along. Hopefully I stay under the radar, but that also means that the channel stays small, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. What else is going on? I don't know. There are other things that now that I'm thinking about it, there are other things that I would like to talk about, that I've thought about publicly speaking on. I've thought about it for a while. I've kind of thought that it would be best not to talk about it when it was going on, when it was still fresh going on and stuff. Just life stuff, stuff that involves other people, and I don't know. I don't want. I don't know necessarily how I feel about dragging other people into the things that I talk about here, like other people specifically, like by name and stuff. But yeah, there's just been a lot on my mind, and this always felt like a good way to just get it out. And I do this a lot of times and just don't post them and just keep them for a while, or keep them or maybe delete them. I don't always post these types of like just rant vlog videos, but I don't know. I've thought a lot about the purpose of this channel and or of my YouTube channel. I don't know that this is going to go on YouTube. This might go to Instagram, but I've thought a lot about like the purpose of my YouTube channel. Like, what is it doing? what is my goal here? And I don't know. I've always thought it's important to have a desire to want to help people in varying ways, right? And I never really thought that much about helping people through my YouTube channel. I never thought that that would be a thing, because I just post and have for a long time just posted random stuff. But after, really getting serious about doing these, narration videos, I've had several of my subscribers write to me and tell me how much that those videos actually mean to them. Maybe not necessarily just me, but the story itself, right? And before I started posting these things, I didn't see very many other people doing narration videos of the Neverending Story. So maybe that was like a thing that, a need or a desire that wasn't being filled. But I love to read, and I know what that's about. I know you get connected and invested in the story and in the characters and what's going on in the narrative. You make like personal connections with your life and stuff. So of course, some of these videos might be, important or helpful for people. But it took that for me to make that realization that, like, okay, maybe that's what this channel should be for. Because before it was just stuff I wanted to do, stuff I thought was fun, right? Because even in, in the beginning, I never thought that YouTube would be, I was never serious about YouTube. Like I started at my channel in like 2009 or whatever it was, or 8 or 7. I forget when it was, 2007 maybe. But was never serious about it. I never posted anything until like 2009 or 8. I get all these. Anyways, I was never serious about it. I just put up goofy things that I would do, and if somebody watched it, cool. If not, whatever. But yeah, maybe I should focus more on like doing those types of things, things that might help people. I'm not a therapist. I'm not someone who's professionally like trained to help people, but if reading stories helps people, I'll do that. If playing music helps people, I'll post more of that. If sitting here talking about random stuff helps people, I'll do that. It's easy to just focus on ourselves sometimes, and all the crazy stuff that happens to us in life. But I think it's far more important to understand that we're not here alone. There are other people out there who are struggling with very difficult things, either emotionally or mentally or financially or medically, So it's important to have some desire, I think, to help people as part of your purpose in life. We all have to find our purpose. Otherwise, we just kind of float through life and very unhappy and unfulfilled, right? So what do we take away from this? Don't love death, because if you do, you're a fuck. And just try and help people, man. And don't be an asshole. Like, just be a decent person. And understand that you don't know everything, and there's lots of context that you don't have. You should understand that everyone's struggling, and yeah. I think generally the idea is don't be a dick. So, go be a good person. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.